Hello, my name is METİN Arıdaşır. This is 154th part of explanation of my theory. In this video, I will go on to explain, according to my theory and my formulas, lithium atoms, multi-electron lithium atoms, spectral line in deterministic way. Remember from my previous video and my former videos, this is lithium atoms, spectral line. The left side, my prediction according to my theory and my formulas. Right side, NIST data. NIST, National Institute Standards and Technology. Okay, NIST data, right side. Left side, my prediction. First page, remember. Second page, remember. Third, and fourth page. Okay. Yes. Yes. In short, 1. Lambda normal is equal to 91.155 nanometer initial wavelength size. Electron motion forms are constituent parts of all known ordinary atoms in our universes. 2. When these electron motion forms, free electron motion forms, coincide with multi-proton structures, while connecting one electron motion form, free electron motion form, per proton, each free electron motion form forced to resize its wavelength in order, while connecting, while being p-bound electron motion form, proton-bound electron motion form. Each proton-bound electron resizes its wavelength differently. Three, there is only a differently resized electron motion form per proton in an atom. 4. First electron motion form, which firstly meets and coincides with one proton, that on the edge of multi-proton structure, always shrinks inversely proportional to squared protons number. 5. All differently resized proton-bound electron motion forms are in balanced positions. Here lithium, according to my theory and my formulas. Here lithium. These are protons, connected, entangled. This is first proton, this is second proton, this is third proton. Okay? Or this is first, this is second, this is third proton. This is first binding electron, first binding electron, inversely proportional to proton numbers squared proton numbers, shrinks. And now, once upon a time, all of these electrons, blue, green, red, were their wavelengths were lambda normal 91.155 nanometer. But when coincide in order these three protons, multi-protons, firstly binding electron motion form inversely proportional shrank to from 91.155 to 10.128 nanometer now. But this is its new imbalance normal initial wavelength in an lithium atom. Okay, then this is second one. Lambda is equal to 16.38 nanometer, and greatest one, lambda 1, is 222.9 nanometer wavelength size. Resize all of these. Here, in balance, say ground state positions of different wavelength size electron motion forms in a lithium atom. Okay? Yes. All differently resized proton-bound electron motion forms are in balanced position unless they are undisturbed. Now, in this position, they cannot produce spectral lines spontaneously. They cannot do this from inner or outer conditions changing. Unless all differently resized proton-bound electron motion forms are in balanced position unless they are undisturbed. Each proton-bound electron motion form have a new specific different initial wavelength in an atom, like this, and each of these wavelengths corresponds to different initial imbalance energy, say ionization energy or ground state energy for each proton-bound electron motion form. For instance, smallest electron, lambda 3, is equal to 10.128 nanometer. Corresponds, its point energy is 122.38 electron volts. This is last ionization energy of lithium. Okay, third ionization energy of lithium. Then here for 16.38 nanometer wavelength size second electron, corresponding ionization energy is 75.64 eV. Then greatest electrons, last electrons, lambda 1 wavelength is 229.9 nanometer. Corresponding ionization energy is, so important all of these, 5.39 eV. Okay. Yes. Six. Each proton-bound electron motion form is capable of enlarging at the rate of n squared by the effect of nth successive wave of a free electron motion form, and capable of shrinking inversely proportional to n squared when these effects partly or completely vanish. Remember successive waves. Remember my single wave pulse and successive waves. Two different types of light according to my formulas and theory, my theory. This is, say, proton-bound electron motion form. This is free electron motion form, okay, and it's, say, 10th successive wave come in, okay, and this make this electron motion form enlarge square 10, okay, 100 times greater and larger. And when these successive waves vanish, effective successive wave vanish, this proton-bound electron motion form shrinks again to its initial position, and while shrinking, produce and push single wave pulse. Okay. This is important, and each single wave pulse wavelength is each single wave pulse corresponds one spectral line. Okay, this is important. When effective successive waves vanish, or when their source gets closer to atom, proton-bound electron shrinks to its initial wavelength or shrinks to lower n corresponding wavelength. While shrinking, proton-bound electron produce and push a single wave pulse through the eternity, which enlarges at the speed of light. Single wave pulse. Think of about lasers. Artificially, successively, we human beings produce, not me, single wave pulses, okay, by means of laser mechanism. But this is not really successive waves, because in fact free electron motion forms successive waves intertwined, okay, connected. Yes, two different types of light. My emission line definition is just this: single wave pulse production. Difference between shrunken electron wavelengths corresponding energy. Here. This is my formula. How can find this is spectral line. This is spectral line wavelength. Okay. Difference between shrunken electron wavelengths corresponding energy and expanded wavelengths corresponding energy is single wave pulse energy. Say this is enlarged here, and here it's corresponding energy. This is, say, third successive waves effects enlarging, third square 3, 9. 9-fold greater than initial. And its energy 9-fold drops. Then, from this energy, from this point energy, minus this point energy is single wave pulse energy like this, okay? And corresponding wavelength is corresponding wavelength formula is that. If we find single wave pulse energy, Hc divided by ECVP is equal to spectral lines volume. Okay. Yes. Difference between shrunken electron wavelengths corresponding energy and expanded wavelengths corresponding energy is single wave pulse energy, and its corresponding representative wavelength is corresponding a spectral line wavelength value. Each proton-bound electron motion form can be thought as a single wave pulse production machine, which works by the effects of successive waves of free electron motion forms from outside. Each spectral lines represents one single wave pulse or a proton-bound electron motion. Each spectral lines represents one single wave pulse of a proton-bound electron motion form. Yes. For example, here, this is this line, this spectral line. Second N. Okay. No, not N. Here, N. Here. Between fifth and first N. This is second proton of lithium. Okay. Second proton. Wavelength is 16.38 nanometer. But I made a table. Okay. For second, here, smallest electron, lambda 3. Second electron, lambda 2. Greatest electron, lambda 1. And their energies. Okay. This line, single wave pulse, represents single wave pulse, okay, line of lithium. But which electron produced this line? Second electron. Okay, here, this line, this line, okay, third electron produced. This line, second electron produced. Third electron is first binding electron, smallest electron, okay. Its wavelength is, initial wavelength is 10.128 nanometer. Like this. Here. Okay. Yes. From n equal 1 to n equal 5. Fifth wave number successive waves of free electron motion form from outside, effective free electron motion form, make this second electron enlarge. Okay, fifth. Squared 5, 25. Okay, like this. Second electron from 1 to 5, from 1 to 5, okay. From 10.128 nanometer, it enlarged to 253.2 nanometer. Okay, when completely vanish this successive wave effect, completely vanish, again it shrinks to first. It shrinks to first and 253.2 two wavelength corresponding energy is, this is EV, but corresponding joule 7.84, okay, 10 to the minus 19 joule. Here, this is 122.38 electron volt corresponding 196.673 10 to the minus joule. Okay, difference between these two corresponding wavelength corresponding energies is, where is it? Fifth, in joule, 7.84, approximately 26 minus, I'm so sorry, second electron. Yes, second electron. Yes, corresponding wavelength energy. From first one, joule, corresponding joule, 121 point joule minus fifth corresponding energy. This is EV, but in joule 4.50, yes, 4.8497 is equal to 116.2